I'm on 560 westbound, just past, I believe, the Buffalo exit, and I think there's a body on the side of the road.
To die of a death of that, a gruesome death, it was just gut-wrenching to see that. It's something that'll stick with me the rest of my life.
Imagine stumbling upon a crime scene where it looks like someone drained a poor soul of every drop of blood. Meet Latrese Curtis, a 21-year-old student whose life was brutally cut short. Trust me, the details are so twisted that you'll be questioning who could be that desperate to commit such a heinous act in the middle of nowhere. Let's dive into the case. Latrese Curtis, born Latrese Matral Jones, grew up in Raleigh, North Carolina, and is just a regular gal with a passion for basketball and fishing. Fast forward to high school, where she's the belle of the ball. Nails done, hair done, and that infectious smile is making her the life of the party. Now, Latrese was all about hitting the books, landing herself a spot at Bennett College, and later making moves at North Carolina Central University, all while staying humble and being the go-to friend for advice. Now, here's where things start to get odd. She crosses paths with Darren Lee Curtis, an older, reserved dude who sweeps her off her feet. You can practically feel the love vibes, and against all odds, they tied the knot in 2007. And this marriage did stir up a storm. Latrese's family and friends were hit with the news. Even her work buddies were left shaken when she dropped the bomb about being a missus out of the blue. Fast forward to the newlywed bliss. Latrese and Darren are living the dream in Raleigh. Jobs, love, and plans for the future. Everything seemed peachy. On April 27th, 2007, the couple took the plunge, saying "I do," and diving headfirst into a life that, little did they know, would soon turn into a nightmare. In January 2008, at 21 years old, Latrese, in her senior year at the university, had dreams of starting a family. But little did she know that the cold winter night of January 29, 2008, would shatter those dreams into a million pieces. Latrese confided in a friend about her desire to have a baby, but concerns lingered about Darren not being ready for parenthood. On that fateful night, Latrese, who usually returned home at 8 p.m., never made it. Darren, her husband, reported her missing to 911, setting off a chain of events that would lead to a horrifying discovery. The next morning, David Jones, driving along Interstate 540, noticed something on the shoulder that sent shivers down his spine. It was a lifeless body, clad in a white shirt and torn blue jeans, lying on an embankment near the Buffalo exit. The gruesome scene indicated a vicious and targeted attack, with multiple stab wounds draining every drop of blood from her pale body. Homicide detectives descended on the scene, concluding that this was no random act. Someone wanted Latrese beyond dead. The investigation intensified as the authorities struggled to identify her. Latrese's father, Sherman, unaware of the sinister connection, watched the news anxiously, trying to reach his daughter. The chilling reality hit when the police informed him that the body found on I-540 was Latrese. As investigators combed through the crime scene, they discovered Latrese's phone and a white Nissan Sentra registered in her name, less than a mile away. The car told a gruesome tale with blood inside and signs of a struggle, indicating the attack had occurred within its confines. Darren, Latrese's husband, became a central figure in this macabre puzzle, having reported her missing that same morning. The unraveling horror of Latrese Curtis's last moments gripped the community, leaving everyone questioning the darkness that could hide behind such a seemingly idyllic life.
911, where's your emergency?
I live in Raleigh, but my wife goes to school out at North Carolina Central, and she did not come home last night. I talked to her last night. She was on her way home. She was in the car and everything. She hadn't showed up.
The last known place she was at NCCU. Did you talk to her while she was driving?
Yes, she had the radio on and everything. She told me she was stopping to get something to eat. I don't know if she was still in Durham when she called me or she was on 540 coming back in around.
Darren Curtis, her husband, claimed he last spoke to her on the night of the tragedy. Latrese was on her way home, and they chatted while she was driving. Darren recounted, The disturbing twist came when he reported her missing the next morning. As detectives probed, Darren's versions of events raised eyebrows. The alleged falling asleep after the call, waking up to Latrese still absent, and nonchalantly heading to work. Suspicion mounted as he conveniently spotted her car on his way, lacking an alibi for the night. The tension reached a breaking point for Latrese's family when Sherman, her father, discovered his daughter's fate through a heartbreaking news story. The pain of that realization echoed as the authorities questioned Darren, treating him as a suspect due to his proximity to the crime scene and peculiar behavior. Disappointment clouded Sherman's voice as he reflected on Darren's apparent lack of urgency. Despite cooperation, the ominous cloud hung over Darren. Detectives searched his home and car, finding no immediate evidence. Neighbors painted a picture of a seemingly happy couple, adding to the enigma. Reporters, drawn to the investigation, probed further, knocking on Darren's door, yet met with silence. The question lingered. Was there more to Darren and Latrese's seemingly perfect marriage? In the dark shadows of uncertainty, the investigation took a turn, unveiling a deadly love triangle. A tip led the authorities to a Chrysler Pacifica near the crime scene, with a connection to Robert Lee Adams Reeves, a 43-year-old former pastor. Known as the Bishop, Reeves was a respected figure with a reputation for excellence. But you see, authorities swiftly turned their attention to Robert Reeves, bringing him in for questioning. Despite his cuts and injuries being attributed to moving a desk, suspicions lingered. The tangled web expanded when it was revealed that Reeves had lent his car to Stephen Randolph, a fellow accounting student and a third suspect in the investigation. With 3 men under suspicion, the case took a complex turn, prompting more questions than answers. As detectives delved deeper, they unearthed a secret affair between Latrese and Stephen Randolph. Stephen, recognized as a charming ladies' man and basketball player, shared an academic year with Latrese at NCCU. Beyond classmates, the relationship was clandestine, hidden from friends and family. Stephen, acknowledging the affair, downplayed its significance, claiming Latrese misled him about her marital status. In a shocking twist, Stephen had another girlfriend, Velma Newton, who remained unaware of his affair with Latrese. The revelation of this secret affair painted a darker picture of Latrese's life, and her friends and family grappled with the shocking truth. Stephen's compliance with authorities, providing DNA and fingerprints, raised suspicions about his potential involvement. As Stephen recounted the events leading to Latrese's murder, the pieces of this chilling puzzle started falling into place. Stephen disclosed that their encounters began in late 2007, shortly after he moved into Robert Reeves' house. On the evening of January 29, 2008, after another intimate encounter, Latrese left his place before 10 p.m. Later, Stephen went to the residence of his other girlfriend, Velma, and met with friends. Latrese, however, caught him, revealing the possibility of pregnancy and expressing a desire to discuss their future together. After receiving another call from Latrese's phone, where silence lingered, Stephen stayed at his girlfriend Velma Newton's house until 1:30 a.m. As he woke for an early class the next morning, he noticed a call from Latrese's phone at 2 a.m. Stephen, cooperating with the police, divulged details about strange calls he and Velma received a month before Latrese's death and an incident where their tires were slashed, leading him to occasionally borrow Robert's car. He vehemently denied involvement in Latrese's murder, emphasizing his disconnection from her death. Following the interrogation, Stephen was released, leaving detectives grappling with unanswered questions. Was Stephen hiding a darker truth, driven to harm Latrese to preserve his image as she sought a serious relationship? Or did Darren, Latrese's husband, discover her deception and take matters into his own hands? The role of Robert Reeves in this intricate web of relationships remained uncertain. Speculations loomed as investigators awaited lab results for solid evidence. After Stephen's interrogation, detectives were left grappling with unanswered questions. Was he hiding a darker truth, driven to harm Latrese as she pursued a serious relationship? Or did Darren, Latrese's husband, take matters into his own hands upon discovering her deception? The role of Robert Reeves in this intricate web of relationships remained uncertain, leading to speculations while investigators awaited lab results for solid evidence. As detectives pieced together a timeline, a chilling revelation surfaced. Latrese's friend Kimberly received an eerie call from Latrese's phone at 2 a.m. on the night of the murder. The call, filled with haunting sounds, left Kimberly unnerved. Little did she know that the next time she heard Latrese's name, it would bring devastating news. The autopsy report disclosed the gruesome details of Latrese's death: her throat slit, around 40 stab wounds, and signs of a violent struggle. Latrese was likely already deceased when Stephen received her final call. The killer's use of Latrese's phone to contact loved ones left investigators questioning the motive. Was it sadistic pleasure or an attempt to mislead the investigation? The shockwaves continued as the accused murderer turned out to be Robert Reeves, facing charges of first-degree murder despite vehement protest of innocence. Incriminating evidence, including Robert's DNA in Latrese's car, perplexed those who knew him as a respected bishop. As the trial unfolded, the jury found Robert Reeves guilty of the first-degree murder of Latrese Curtis. On October 9, 2009, he was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole, serving his term at the Pasquotank Correctional Institution in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Latrese's father, Sherman Jones, expressed a mix of heartbreak and relief after the conviction, emphasizing the closure for the family. However, true closure remained elusive as the pain of losing Latrese lingered, leaving unanswered questions and an enduring sense of loss. Anyways, what do you think about this case? Do drop your thoughts in the comment section below, and we'll meet again in the next episode. Until then, see ya.